Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brandon Davis. I'm the founder of the Rags to Riches community. I am highly unqualified to give you any advice about anything. I barely graduated high school. Do not like or comment on any of my videos, and please do not subscribe. Let's get to it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brandon Davis. I'm with the Rags to Riches community, and I would like to introduce a very special guest here. Very special guest that has gone through hell and back with me tonight. So we recorded about an hour and a half, and it turns out there was a ghost echo that we could not have heard. And so here we are. The dude's back. He's a trooper. He's coming back in. Let's get this done. So tell the world, what's your name, man?
It's good, everybody. I'm Justice Hill, running back for the Baltimore Ravens, and recently converted HEXICAN, man. So, yeah, man. I actually want to give a shout out to my boy Finley Kirk too. I heard he's a big fan. Big fan. I want to give a shout out to you too, man. So, hey, we gonna keep running it up, man.
Finley Kirk. Finley's six-year-old kid, man. He's a Baltimore Ravens fan through and through, and he knows all about you. So that's good, man. So, dude,
it's on the winning team, the winning squad.
It is the winning. You know what? Let me tell you something about Baltimore, man. So I stopped. All right, who do you think my team is or was? I don't follow teams anymore. Who's my team?
Redskins.
Nah, it ain't the Redskins, believe it or not. I know I'm from this side of the coast, but
Philly.
It's NFC.
Oh, Giants. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on the whole thing. Patriots.
It's the Cowboys, baby.
Oh man. Oh, hey, I thought I left that when I left Oklahoma, man.
Oh, that's right, dude. Hey, man, you know what? I used the bathroom in Cowboy Stadium, so that qualifies me as a legit fan for Virginia. All right, I went there. I saw it. Now, what blew my mind was I went to the Texas State playoffs at Dallas Stadium, and I was like, my mind was blown, dude. That's a big stadium, and you're playing playoff games there. Did you play there? No, you were in Oklahoma. You didn't play there.
I didn't play there, but I played there before, and I've had camps there, so I've been there. I'm familiar with it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's a cool piece. Yeah, cool piece of engineering over there. But yeah, so like, does Oklahoma and Oklahoma and Texas are like this? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, Texas obviously got the nod, man. They just got so much talent down there. But Oklahoma, we're not too far behind, man. We have a lot of secret talent that makes it. You know what I'm saying? It's a good talent in Oklahoma. They sleep on us, but
yeah. Well, dude. Let me tell you something, man. So, crowd, this is the man, Baltimore running back. I told the stream last time he was a quarterback, and I was just testing him. And I also told the stream last time he was from Texas, Kansas, Illinois, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana. I got it wrong, but we got it right this time. We're good. All right. Now, I thought he was trying to make a statement with those glasses too, because y'all are my fans. Y'all know what I do. But he showed up like this fresh from the start. That's how I knew. You know, connection.
He got me beat on the glasses game, though.
Hey, well, you know what? That's a very humbling statement, but you're absolutely correct. And don't forget it. All right. But you said you're going to come back in about 6 months. You're going to up the game a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a couple on my sleeve. A little hex flex. Huh?
Dude, you got to, man. Hex flex, hashtag hex flex. Here we go. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I want to show you all his Twitter. We got to blow his Twitter up, man. And here's why. This guy he's going out on a big limb by putting what he's putting on his Twitter page. He has a whole lot more to lose than a lot of us. So let's show him some love to his Twitter. And bing, bang, boom. Here it is. Do you see that, Justice? You see it on your screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Perfect.
I see it.
Justice Hill, Baltimore, raised on Black Wall Street. Be uncomfortable. 555 Club Hex. Y'all know what that means. Y'all know what that means. Justice, you know what that means.
Oh, do you know what that means?
I know what that means, man. Now, did that scare you when you put that bad boy in?
Yeah. like if it was my first steak ever, yeah, it would have been scary. But I had my ladder already set, so it wasn't scary when I did it. But man, it's still crazy to think of. But it's better than having 401k that you don't touch till you're 60. So it's cool.
No, you're right, man. You're right. And why not? Like, you're not emotionally attached to that money. It's not gonna break the bank if you don't have it.
Exactly. It's just growing and paying me every day, you know. So
yeah. So we want to get this dude. We want to get him up to about what? You want to get about 30K off the Hex community followers?
Hey, if I can get it, hey. I know the Hexicans go crazy, man. Like I think I had like 13 something the other day. And then the Hex came.
They're crazy. They're absolutely crazy.
Crazy, man. So they show love.
They do. And they're gonna show you a lot of love, man, because this is awesome. So I was and also we gotta do this. Rags to Riches. Now he's got 14.4 thousand. You know, I wish I could give him some of my followers to get him up because I'm at 59. So,
you're a baller, man.
I'm balling, man.
Like, I don't even use Twitter that often. Like I just got back recently on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the low follow count, but
well, dude, maybe if I could run like a 1-2-40 and I could jump like 50 whatever inches, maybe I'd have that, dude. So here's what happened, dude. My people said, you know what? You got to get on Twitter, man. Everybody in crypto's on Twitter. Just do it. And I kept putting it off. I was building my Telegram. I was building my YouTube, and dude, I got to do it. I got to bite the bullet. And I don't want to put OnlyFans on my Twitter. I don't want to do crazy stuff. I just want to build it the right way. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a big market for gingers like me. You know that, right?
Bro, I mean, you're a high commodity, man. You probably rare than the Hex, man. Like,
I'm telling you, dude, I could go for a lot on the on the black market. I go for a lot. I promise you that, dude. I promise. All right. This is not awkward. All right, here we go. All right. So tell me, man, like, and I'm gonna go back to your Twitter. I was telling you this before. So I was scrolling through. I'm like, okay, the sacrifice is always worth it. I figured that has something to do with Pulse and other things. Was I right on that, or is it not really a Pulse thing?
Yeah, I mean, I always keep it open-ended, you know, and let people think for themselves. But yeah, I mean, it has a little bit to do with Pulse.
Okay, yeah, that too, and fiending for some more T-shares.
Yeah,
dude, everybody's fiending for those T-shares.
And when you get into it, man, it's like, man, you just want to have as many as possible, man. You see the value in it. So,
gosh, you're right, man. Like a T-share goes to $100,000. I'd be a pretty happy camper.
What? Me too. More happy.
Yeah, major key. Stake and ladder. That is a major key, my friend. Now, we're talking about all this stuff that got the attention of Hex. Now, we're going to scroll back down here. And I kind of wish I'd done this last video. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do it this one. I was talking about like watching you kind of progress. So actually, I'm even going to go back further. Let's go back. Let's check this out. So we're back May. We're going to go back to February. Yeah. So you can go even further back. I start seeing stuff like this. February, decentralized. February 25th, go ponder. This is Justice Hill in lockdown. And he's starting to look at himself, right? He don't see nobody else. He doesn't care about it. He's starting to think. He's starting to read. He's starting to watch YouTube. He's starting to do these things that most people do in that situation. You read a whole lot more, and I know I did. If you ever walked in our shoes, you'll never understand. Powerful stuff. We won't do it. Yes, we will. In this country, you get crucified for telling your truth. So you think in this country we get crucified for telling the truth? Talk to me about that.
It's really just like it came from like the groupthink scenario. Just like everybody wants to think one way, and if you say something different or do anything different, it's just like, yo, you're weird, you're crazy. It's like, oh my God, it's like the end of the world. And it's like, yo, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has different thoughts and opinions, and the world can be wherever you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? And and it's so many possibilities and endless possibilities out there. And it's not one way to do things. And at that point, when I made that tweet, it was just like, yo, I was just frustrated with a lot of things, you know? And it's just like, yo, everybody just lived a life for them. And whatever happens with your life, it happens. But don't try to dictate other people's,
Yeah. And then very shortly after that, you posted authoritarianism versus freedom.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what you're saying. You're saying, hey,
Mhm.
listen, we want to do our own thing, get out of our lives.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing stuff. It says Justice Hill retweeted Barstool Sports. The Sacramento King can now choose to get their salaries paid in Bitcoin. I said, okay, I see where he's at now. I see what's going on. And then I keep scrolling up and I start seeing you ran across Richard Hart. Tell me about the impact that Richard Hart has made on your decision to kind of get into this community here.
Like it just gave me a whole different aspect of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like I was watching the YouTube videos of popular streamers, the popular YouTubers, and you just realize like it's all a show. Like you realize all that stuff is just show.
Yeah.
And then once you just weed it through all of that and kind of get that out your head and start listening to real truth, like you start realizing like, yo, like that's correct. Everything you're saying is correct. And then you actually go and look at it, research it, and it's like, yo, like, dang, this is opening up a whole new aspect of thinking, a whole new aspect of just everything, it just changed your whole worldview. And so started listening to Richard Hart and a couple other guys. And I was like, man, this gave me a whole different perspective on life. And,
yeah. So you watched a lot of those videos that he did early on, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I watched like a lot of his live streams. And so,
yeah,
I just dissect them and kind of just go through them.
Yeah, man. It's for me, like I'm a pretty big skeptic. I think you might be a pretty big skeptic too.
Yeah.
So when you hear something from somebody, it's not easy for you to just immediately trust what they're saying, even if they're close to you, right?
No, definitely. Like I have to question everything, even though it's like, even if it sounds like it's a surefire thing, like I always got to question everything. And
have you always been that way?
Yeah, I've always been that way from young. Like always ask questions, a lot of questions. And even if you know the answer to it, I'm just like, I still ask questions just because it might be a different, it might be something different that I can learn from it.
So when your mom, like my mom, she'd be like, because I told you, Brandon, that's why. That wasn't a good answer for me.
That wasn't enough answer, man. It was like, yeah, like
stop asking me questions.
Yeah. I mean,
so yeah, that gosh, man. So Hex, how did you were telling the story on our last stream that jacked up. Tell us the story how you stumbled upon Hex, because I saw you were kind of dabbling in some other stuff, and how'd you get here?
Yeah. So I was really just a big ETH guy. Like I got into Bitcoin and all that stuff in like 2016. And from Bitcoin, I got into Ethereum, and I was really just an Ethereum maxi at that point, like all the way up until like last year during quarantine. And then quarantine, I've been watching a lot of different YouTubers, and one YouTuber I watched was Trevon James. And and he was talking about Hex. I remember he made a comment. He said, "I'm giving all my Ethereum to Richard Hart." And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I really never researched Hex or anything. He just said, "I'm giving all my Ethereum away." And I'm like, oh, yo, what? And so I really didn't even look into it, because at that point I was just like ETH max. I'm like, I'm buying ETH every week, like just stacking. And so quarantine comes around, and start hearing that. And then fast forward all the way up until like June of this year. And so that's when I finally pulled the trigger. I just had to take a leap of faith. And I saw that the processes work, everything that is flawless uptime, everything that it said it was going to do, it did. And I came back to it and was like, man, I really kind of missed out. It felt like you missed out, but you really didn't. It always feels like that in Hex, because it's always at all-time high price, it seems like. But I finally got into it, started getting staking, started getting into staking. I started off for like a month stake just to like test it for myself. I had to see what it was. I had to understand it for myself. And then after I saw that stake mature and got all that stuff, and I was like, okay, I see how to make it work. And then I started making the ladders, and now I finally was able to do a 555 stake. And so now I'm all in, and like I'm all in Hex, and it's a fun project, and like I just see a limitless potential for it, So
people, you're all in. People are gonna call you crazy. What are you gonna tell them?
Well, I mean, I'm not all in, but I'm all into
you're all into the community. Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a
I'm saying?
lot of
Like,
people who say that Hex is a scam. And I
mhm.
know just talking to you that you've done a lot of research. So you're not just some blind person that's gotten into this. So what do you say? What do you say to those people that say it's a scam? What could you even possibly say?
Hey, if you think it's a scam, that's cool. That's okay. But
Right.
we making our games regardless, you know. And so, like for me, man, if people call it a scam, everybody's talking about it badly. Everything in the media is bad about it. Like, don't you see the opportunity in that? Like, nobody likes it yet. Like, that's opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like limitless opportunity. And so, I really don't have anything to say. It's like, do your own research, and if you think it's a scam, that's okay. That's cool. Like,
Dude, I love
but
that. I love that answer. And it's not just because you're Justice Hill. It's
yeah,
because like you're not needy. That's
yeah,
that's the exact that's the right anybody who's watching this, you need to answer that question that way. If you got to sit there and try to convince somebody that something's not a scam, then they already have the power over you.
yeah.
Just shrug your shoulders and say, hey, it's all in the blockchain. And walk away. That's all you got to do. It's all everything you need to know is online. You just got to do it. If you think it's a scam, fine. And then they're gonna be crying. They're gonna be crying, man.
They'll buy in higher, man. They'll buy in higher.
So let's take it back even further now. You said you
Mhm.
were an ETH guy.
Mhm.
What got you into ETH?
What got me into ETH really was just the price. You know, I'm like price appreciation, and then the ecosystem. I started using it,
Yeah.
but it was just the price because I went from Bitcoin. I had a couple of Bitcoin when I was in college, and then I was like, yo, what's the next thing? You know, and I was like, okay, ETH is right below it, and then kind of just started getting it because it was cheap. Like it already pumped up, came back down, and I was like, yo, it's perfect time. You know, it's way off all time high, so I started
So
accumulating
you
that.
got into Bitcoin and primarily because so when you graduated college when?
So I finished college in 19. So I was in college 3 years, and so I got there in 16.
Okay,
So I got
so Bitcoin was like 16, 17, 8. So that was when it was spiking up to 20,000 and everybody's losing their minds.
yeah.
So it was a big thing on campus. All the bros were like, yo, man, you getting some Bitcoin, dude? Yeah, I got like a half a Bitcoin, this, that type of stuff, right?
Yeah, it was. But then the crazy thing is, it really wasn't like it
Oh,
wasn't
that's
that many.
true.
It was like not too many people. It wasn't like that. It was like a couple of guys that knew about it. And a couple of guys had like a point two, like point one. And like when I first found out about it, it was probably like $600, $700. And I went to this little seminar, you know, and they were talking about it, and then I instantly understood it, and it was like, yo, I see the potential in this. And so like the next day I got some, and I'm like, I spent like half of my savings on it. I was like, man, I'm getting this. Like I see the opportunity, and then man, it ran up. Like I really didn't pay attention to it, and then it was like that was probably like in or May or April of 2020, or not 2020, 2016. And then later that year, I didn't pay attention to it because football season came around, all that stuff when it came around. Then I saw it trending on Twitter. I was like, Bitcoin. I clicked it. I'm like, Bitcoin's at $20,000. I'm like, yo. And then I got a new phone and everything. Like I totally forgot about it, and I had to download my
Oh
stuff. Like
yeah.
I had to wait like 14 days to get
Yeah.
back to it. Then I finally got back into it. I was like, oh my god, this is
You're like,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's
calling
crazy.
everybody up like, dude,
Yo,
I bought this back 4 or 5 years ago, blah, blah, blah.
man,
That's
but it was
awesome, dude. So that's what
so
got you hooked. That's what got you into it.
that got me into it because I was in that and the stocks at the same time. So I'm like trying to figure out where is the best way to go. And I realized like my stocks really never did nothing but like gain a little bit and then lose a little bit and then gain a little bit and then lose a little bit. And then I just saw crypto and I'm like, yo, this is way early. Nobody's even talking about it. Nothing's going on with it. And so, and it was evolving like every single day. More and more things happening. So, like, yeah, I'm just gonna pick some solid projects and just invest like dollar cost average into it. And so,
Yeah, man. That's what we preach. Rags to riches. We get a lot of folks that come in there and I'll hear this. They'll say, hey man, can you take a look at this chart? I'm like, why? And they're like, well, I'm margin trading. I'm part of this group. I joined this group. I pay $50 a month. And
no,
can you tell me kind of what's going to happen, this and that? And I say, listen, I said, I'll give you a chart. I'll tell you where I think the price will go. I have no clue where the price will go. I do not. And I say, you're going to blow your account up.
Yeah.
And I also tell them that the only thing that you have to do in this game is just hold and accumulate good projects.
Yep.
That's it. People make money by forgetting about it, i.e. you, i.e. me. I put money like a dumbass into Doge back in the day. Yeah. Forgot about it. I had 100,000 Doge.
Yeah.
It shoots up to about, I got, $100,000 earlier this year.
No, for real.
Right now, here's the funny thing. I forgot about it. I didn't pull $100,000 out. I didn't even realize I had it, dropped all the way back down. And then I took it out then. But it's one of those things. If you forget about it, it's good. It's delayed gratification. That's the way you win this game. You don't win this game by playing the game that the exchanges want you to play. And you'll see it. You log into Facebook, you get advertised to. You log into Twitter, you get advertised to. You log into anywhere, any margin trade, it's everywhere. It's disgusting completely. So that's good. So you graduate college, and at what point in time does crypto sneak back in your mind, or is it always kind of in the background for you?
It was always kind of just like, it was always there. You know what I'm saying? It was always there. And I always continued to like buy, always kind of just bought. And I really was only buying Ethereum, like I was looking into other projects, like researching it, watching videos, those things, like researching it, but nothing really like sparked my interest. And so, because everything was built on Ethereum, especially like a couple of years ago, everything was just Ethereum. And so that's all I was doing. It was just like kind of averaging into that. And then I did that for a couple of years, probably like 3 or 4 years. And I haven't really bought any Ethereum in a while. And yeah, like ever since then, I was like, okay, I need to find something else, something else that meets all my criteria when it comes to like price appreciation, when it comes to like finding a passive income source and security, like everything that I was looking for. And then I found that thing in Hex. And so that's the next thing I'm kind of accumulating, like kind of move my
hopefully the last thing. Well, other than Pulse, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
So I've done some videos on kind of the stuff that's been talked about. It sounds like what Richard Hart's trying to do. He's trying to build out like an ecosystem. Mm-hmm. So you've got a certificate of deposit, which it's created to make people money. That's what it is. That's the purpose, unapologetically. You've got Pulse, the Pulse is gonna be the big product in the ecosystem. It's gonna probably be used on exchanges quite a bit. The third thing is he's gonna do a DEX. He's gonna fork PancakeSwap, and he's gonna make a decentralized exchange, or the third thing. And then the fourth thing, probably, I don't know if he's gonna dabble in stable coins or not. But it would make a lot of sense if he made his own stable coin that could be used in this ecosystem, because that just makes people sticky, makes businesses sticky, developers who want to build and build products, etc. So I think that there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people, for you folks who are listening to this right now, and you don't know a lot about crypto. All right. I would selfishly recommend that you check out the Rags to Riches Telegram channel. We will not charge you. We don't charge a dime. Okay. I would also have you check out pretty much any channel that has to do with Hex, because there's people in there that really care about you. They want to help you out. All right. And do not check out Justice Hill, because he cares too much about football. He didn't care about crypto whatsoever. All right. That's very important. Okay. So, but guys, seriously though, if you're new, stay away from margin trading. Stay away from Bybit. Stay away from, KuCoin. Stay away from, BitMEX. Is BitMEX gone now? I don't know. I think BitMEX is gone. Stay away from these places. Get away. All right. Let me ask you this, Justice. Let me see here. I've got some of those questions that I asked you earlier. I want to kind of go over those again. So the long vacation, I talked to you about him. He's kind of like an OG guy. Everybody looks up to him. He's got all the answers. He asked you, are you in it for the price appreciation or the passive income, or both? And you kind of said I'm in it for both. And I think that's evident by that stake that you put in.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like anybody that tells you they're not in crypto for the price appreciation, they're lying to you. Like,
Thank you.
that is honestly a lie. Like you can be in for the tech and all that stuff, but honestly, if the price doesn't appreciate it, whatever. And then passive, everybody wants a passive income. Everybody wants income that they don't have to work for. And so for me, it check both of those boxes. And so yeah, I'm in it for both reasons.
You're gonna be the richest. You're gonna be the richest person in that locker room.
Hey, I wish I was OG, man, but hey.
You're gonna be buying Lambos for all your linemen after every game, right?
Oh, for real.
Not like we'll say TVs. We'll say 70-inch TVs.
Yeah, I mean, I keep it to the TVs for now.
All right, TVs. That's the norm, right? You got to get those TVs to the linemen.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Next one. Are you and we talked about this too. More and more professional players, you're seeing they're talking about their crypto holdings. They're foregoing their salary. They negotiate Bitcoin, whatever the case may be. And I kind of talked to you about it, and you see more of that going on. Do you see like more of an understanding and like a realization that this is where things are going, or is it just kind of the same? You got a couple people here and there.
You got a couple people here and there, but at the same time, not too many people talk about their investments and what they get into. And so you really don't know, but you actually see more people talking about it, and so from a year ago, 2 years ago, you see more and more people talking about it. So it's trending in the right direction. And so that's all you can really hope for, is that it's going in the right direction. And that's what I'm seeing. So if it like just continually grow over time.
I wonder if that level, because when you look at financial advisors, you take any city, you go across the United States, you walk in there and you start talking about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They're like, allocate like 1 to 2% of your portfolio. So I wonder, for folks who got big stacks, who do they go to? Are there people that specialize in helping portfolios out like that? I don't know. Or do they got to go online on YouTube? They say, I don't know.
I mean, you have your financial advisors, and I have an advisor, but at the same time, like, you can advise yourself too. It's like they're there for advising when you need help. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I use mine. I use it for when I need help. But at the end of the day, I'm always making my own decisions, and so there's
those financial advisors, they're there for those damn taxes that y'all got to pay.
Yeah.
That's what it's for, dude. That's crazy.
No, for real, man. Taxes are
theft, man. Jeez.
I don't even talk about taxes, man. Taxes make me sad, man. But that's why I don't sell anything, man. I'm like,
dude, you can't.
I can't. I don't even want to sell anything. I don't even want to cure no capital gains, anything, because I'm already getting taxed like crazy out the wazoo.
Out of control, man. You can't outpace that tax, man. That's why you can't sell anything. It's like being in a jail with golden bars, probably for a lot of you guys.
Yeah, it's like you expect so much, and then it's like, you actually receive so little, and
now it's like a lot more rules.
One step, you take a step up, and then it's like, no, come on back down, and man, taxes are in a whole different ball game, man. But
I'd imagine like, I'm trying to think of non-crypto assets. What I would get into is definitely, I would get into real estate and rentals. And that's because of the amount of tax write-offs, the depreciation of the IRS, the fact that if you got a bunch of equity in a property, you can cash out, refinance that, and not pay a dime of taxes on it. Exactly. So just stuff like that's probably what I'd imagine a lot of NFL players do that, just high earning folks. Yeah,
definitely. Rental properties is one of the most important ways that anybody can get around that thing. And man, it's vital, especially with appreciation. How you say, you can ramp to depreciation on things too. And so it's a harder game you got to play, especially getting the right properties and finding the right things and doing that. But it's worth it,
It's worth it if it takes you looking at 100 properties to get one good one that cash flows well, has good equity. Screw it, just keep doing that over and over.
Exactly, it's worth it. But
dude. And you can do the 1035 exchanges where you can sell a property, roll it in, and then buy something else within 6 months, and it's tax deferred. which is real nice until you sell it, and you never have to sell it if you
Never
don't
have
want
to
to.
push it down, man. And just deferred taxes, then you die, and then your kids don't have to pay it. So it's like it's a game.
I'm
It's
reading a
a game
book right now. I think it's The Power of Zero or The Sum of Zero. It's by a guy named McKnight, and it talks about. Last night it was talking about this, like how high do you think? And most nobody knows this, so I'm not putting you on the spot here. How high do you think the highest tax rates in the past 100 years were for the United States? Say corporate tax.
You said for corporate tax?
Corporate and high earning individuals, the highest earning. Like how high do you think that went?
I saw it got like at one point it was like 75%, but nobody paid it, you know, like nobody paid it, but it got high like 75, 80%, wasn't it?
Yeah, 75 and 90% at one point.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much changed back like in the late mid 80s, mid to early 80s.
Mhm.
But the thing that's scary is if people have money in 401ks, you know, a 401k is kind of like or like stocks and bonds and things like that. 401ks, it's going to be tax deferred in some instances. So you might think, hey, you know, I'm not going to pay the tax and I'll pay it when I pull it off. But guess what? Our tax rate's 30% right now, 34 to 40%. What do you think it could be in 20 or 30 years?
Yeah.
It might be 2 or 3 times. I mean, come on, man. That's crazy. It could be 3 times that, 2 times that.
I couldn't even imagine.
So that's why it's important to put your stuff in like real estate that has reoccurring revenue and put your stuff in tax-free buckets like IRAs and things like that. So financial advisors are very, very important for that reason, man, especially for you folks.
No, definitely. You gotta find a way around things.
Yeah. So yeah, we checked off that. So that was from the long vacation. So Steve Bowman from Rags to Riches, he asked, you know, do you own any Rolexes? And what did you say? You don't. But old Richard Hart's going to send you one after this stream, right?
Right.
He's going to send you a Hex Rolex.
My Hex Flex, man. I got to get there.
Dude, did you see that? He's got a watch guy. Have you seen that stream with him and the Rolex guy?
No, I didn't see that stream.
You need to check that out. That's some cool stuff, man.
Watches though. I see it in his collection.
Dude, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have one of those in the background doing this.
That's spinning.
With my glasses.
Man.
All right. So, okay. No Rolexes. All right. Paul Chavez, State of the Heart Recovery in Albuquerque. And we were talking about this. And this is like, the question is, what advice would you give somebody with substance use disorders? And it's probably the advice that you give anybody to try to help fix themselves or even yourself. If you got an issue, how do you tackle that issue?
Like I would say, like, because it was a good question. Like the first time I had to think about it for
formulate it. Yeah.
I just came up with really just finding a passion, like finding something that you can just divert your thoughts to. And because like at the end of the day, I feel like when you're on a substance abuse or have a substance abuse, you kind of running away from something or you just don't want to face something. And so when you face it head on and then find a passion to distract you from it, you know, you wind up forgetting about it. And so that passion has to be something that overtakes it, you know, and it might take a while to find it. It might be hard to find, but it's something that's needed to break that.
Yeah, man, I like that. And I say the same thing, you know. Obviously, Paul's a good dude. I had a stream with him. Y'all can check it out. Again, State of the Heart Recovery. It's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They use technology, advanced technology to help folks fix their lives. But, you know, I was telling him, you got to find something, just like you said, Justice, you got to find something that is more worth it than the substance that you're using. And you also hit on something important too, which was, sometimes it's hard to find. And frankly, sometimes you might never find it, but you got to keep looking. And while you're looking, your life will improve a little bit by little bit by little bit. And, you know, it might be 2 steps forward, 3 steps back sometimes, but then it's 5 steps forward, 1 step back. So just got to keep doing it. So that's a good answer. All right. Trapper says, All right. He actually had two questions. What makes you care about crypto? So beyond the money, we talked about that earlier. What makes you care about it? Like, what's important to you in the grand scheme of things?
The most important thing for me is just the freedom to have control of your own assets and not have to deal with middlemen or counterparty risk or just a lot of things like that. It just gives you the freedom to live your life, man. It gives you the freedom, like even on Twitter, just being able to express yourself in thoughts and express yourself in speech. It just gives you so much freedom. And that's really the biggest thing with crypto for me that it gave me was just like confidence and just the security and freedom to really just become yourself. And so that's why I love crypto for real.
Yeah, man. That's why you got to love it. You are the bank, you are the broker, you are everybody. It's all on you. And that's what's cool about Hex too. And we'll talk about that in a second. The second question is, and I wanted to steer away from football as much as possible, but dude, we got to do it, man. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah. We had to do it here. So the question was, and it's a good question, like Tom Brady, like the GOAT. Is that fair to say or not?
I think Lamar Jackson got him,
man. Yeah, hey,
Lamar,
you can't argue with that.
But I mean, if you say right now, yeah, like Tom Brady, man,
like the body of work,
yeah,
at this point, so
are unmatched. You know, his compliments are unmatched. So you definitely go, yeah, 7 Super Bowls, like that's unheard of, man.
So we'll see what Lamar does at the end of his career and match him up. He's going to be up there in the conversation, right?
No, he's definitely going to be in the conversation. I think he already is, man. But
well, I mean there's nobody that's ever. There's nobody that has had the vision that he has as a quarterback. There's nobody that can move like he can move. He can be a pocket passer or he can get outside the pocket and he just disrupts defenses. See, let me tell you, you thought I didn't know anything about football earlier, didn't you?
You do a little something, man.
Yeah, I knew a little something, man. I got season tickets in the nosebleed to Virginia Tech football. DBU.
Oh, yeah.
That's Miami. Oh, sorry. Don't do that. DBU. All right. So yeah, man, like Lamar Jackson's a monster. Absolute monster. Absolute.
Different, man. Different. It's like he's different.
All right. Good. All right. So let me check and make sure I got everything here. I want to make sure. Yeah, Trevor really, Paul Baum. Okay, cool. And Brandon Ballet, he was here earlier. And Brandon, I'm so sorry, man. Audio screwed up. We had to redo it on the fly. So I apologize about that. But guys, please check out Brandon. He's been amazing. I'll put some of his links in the YouTube description. He's a driving force in the Hex community and the Pulse community. And one of the nicest dudes that I've met in crypto, very plainly. I want to state that. All right, I'm going to share my screen here, and there's going to be folks that are looking you up. You know, right now he's nursing an injury. Justice, he had a little Achilles injury, so he's going to get back up and running. And when he gets back up and running and starts scoring touchdowns, and people are going to start looking him up quite a bit. So we want to tell them when they see this video, what exactly Hex is all about. So I'm going to share my screen here. You see that, Justice?
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, folks, it's very simple. Hex.com. I want to talk about what exactly Hex is. And I don't think there's any other better way to do that than going straight to the website. Well, shoot. Website, testimonials, downloads, blah, blah, video instructions, how it works, HEXICAN. Cool. So Hex is the first blockchain certificate of deposit. And I'm going to read from this because it just says it very, very plainly. Certificate deposits, known as or time deposits, they're worth trillions of dollars. So in traditional finance sense, apart from crypto, they're worth trillions. CDs are worth more than gold, credit card companies, and cash. CDs pay a higher interest than savings accounts. requiring money to be deposited for a fixed time. So a lot of folks don't know that CDs require you to lock your money up. And there's reasons for that. They require you to lock your money up so they know they have access to it. So they know they can take your money and they can leverage your money maybe 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x and invest in other assets and we kind of talked about that earlier too. It's kind of messed up that they're making all the money off our backs, but banks profit on poor customer service, early withdrawal fees, and auto renewing you at worse rates. They pay pitifully low interest. New money is printed all the time, making you less valuable. HEX replaces inefficient currencies, banks, and payment networks with verifiably secure peer-to-peer technology. HEX has outperformed bank CDs because it's nothing like a bank CD. Okay, so we've got the idea here. The basic idea of HEX is that you are cutting out anybody that has anything to do with putting their hands on your money, and you're keeping the profit. So how do you make profit? Well, there's a couple ways. All right. HEX's price, HEX has a market cap. This says 200 billion at this time. I think it's about 240, 250. It ranks number 3 globally per the following websites. Over 30,000 addresses minted their own HEX using HEX contract. HEX has millions of dollars of on-chain exchange liquidity. So 3 ways that you get paid by HEX. And I need to talk to you about Bitcoin to be able to describe this. And Justice, we were talking about this with Brian earlier. So, and I think you actually did a pretty good job of kind of explaining to folks what HEX is. So tell me about HEX a little bit.
So HEX, like you said, is certificate of deposit and is a coin. And obviously you can hold it liquid, yep. But the power is staking it. And staking it, you're locking your coin up for any specific amount of time. You can go from 1 day to 15 years. And whatever you choose is what you choose, and you have to stick and commit to it. And when you stake it, you're getting paid to inflation instead of like a Bitcoin miner where the miners are getting the inflation. All that inflation is getting paid directly to the stakeholders. And so what that does is hold the price up, and it's not that much sell pressure, you know, and it's just a beautiful thing. So it's just
Love
a beautiful.
No, that's perfect. You described it better than most people could. And I put you on the spot. So that's good. So yeah, you're talking about it perfectly. For folks who just get into this, you've got 21 million Bitcoin that can ever be released. Okay. Out of that 21 million, we're about like 18 or 19 million Bitcoin have been released so far. So the question becomes, let's just take now, for example, how is that remaining Bitcoin going to be released? And what Justice says is that if I send Justice a transaction, if I send him Bitcoin, who processes that transaction? A computer, a miner. Okay. They process that transaction, and then they get a fraction of a Bitcoin. And that Bitcoin is part of that Bitcoin that hasn't been released. So that's the extra inflation. 2020, that's the 3 million Bitcoin, for example, 3 or 4 million that need to be released back. It's released via the miners. They get a reward. All right. So the difference between Bitcoin and HEX is that you, the person who participates in HEX, are solely responsible for creating the inflation in the HEX ecosystem. So if you decide to purchase HEX and you decide to stake, the stakers will receive those rewards. On Bitcoin, the miners received that extra Bitcoin that needs to be released. On HEX, the stakers will receive that. So that's a very, very powerful thing. That means that nobody has control over your HEX other than you. Nobody has control over the performance. Justice, you stake for 5,555 days on at least one stake. That's 15 years, right? If you hold that for 15 years, you're going to get a tremendous amount of interest. Okay. It's compounding interest as well. We can get into T shares and how that works, but I want to keep it kind of simple right now. And I want to invite people to come in and learn about it because it's so powerful. It's trustless. You don't have to worry about anybody else. It's just between you and the contract, the HEX contract. Okay. So very, very important. All right. You have anything to add, Justice, there, or is it pretty straightforward, right?
Straightforward, man. You hit the nail on the head.
Okay, cool. I want to talk about Pulse. All right. And tell kind of the community, tell the people who are new watching this right now, what are one or two things that make Pulse better than Ethereum, and tell people what Pulse is and it's being launched and all that. Talk about that.
So just my basic understanding of Pulse is really just Ethereum 2.0. And it's the thing that caused Ethereum to just kind of get congested and everything is just the fees. Everything is just kind of like clogged up right now. And so Pulse is creating a whole new ecosystem. It's kind of just forking Ethereum, and you have 3-second blocks. Everything is just coming out with Pulse token, and it's going to allow things to just run a lot smoother. All the ERC20s that's on Ethereum right now is going to get copied over into Pulse. And the same with the Hex. Hex was that stake because the ERC20 also is going to get copied over into Pulse. And so, I mean, there's a lot of speculation. I mean, I don't know everything about it, but right. I mean, it's fun to be in the speculation part of it because you get to see it from the ground up. And so, the testnet just launched yesterday, and everything is running smooth. Like, everything is running smoothly, man. So
tell people real quick, when you said fees, okay, when you talked about fees, so give us an example of what does that mean when you say fee?
Yeah. So, I mean, whenever you send, like how you say in Bitcoin, anything, whenever you send a transaction to interact with any kind of contract, there's a fee that goes into it. And so Ethereum fees, man, when we first got started, man, Ethereum fees were a couple cent, like $1. And then they got to the point they were a couple $100, and they just continue to increase. And so it's not ideal for people, especially when you have a small stack. If you're spending $50 in a crypto and you got to pay $80 for the fee, it doesn't make sense at all. And so the fees it's just crazy right now. So
Pulse was created to address that specifically. And I think we were looking, you hit everything you said was correct. And I think there were some folks reporting last night that some of those transaction fees were like 6 cents, under $1.
Yeah, I saw like 0.00000. It's a lot of
So, I mean, that's tremendous. That is crazy. And here's why. Think about, are you familiar with like the NFT craze going on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So think about those artists who are like, they're just drawing night and day, some really cool creations. And then they come up and they say, well, I need to mint these on the Ethereum blockchain, but it's going to cost me $60 per. Why would anybody do that? Because it's not even guaranteed that their stuff's going to sell. Right. So that's kind of what this solves. That's what Pulse is going to solve. It's going to really help take the load off Ethereum, and hopefully, theoretically, it'll make Ethereum run smoother as well. So Pulse, the other really big thing, Justice, you mentioned there's going to be a snapshot, and what happens after that?
So
the copy over?
All the copies can launch to the Pulse chain. So every ERC20 is going to be on Pulse chain. I mean, I'm still wrapping my head around it all. Like, it's like, you can just straight up copy. You just go straight up copy everything that you have in your wallet. It's like, it's crazy. But hey, if it happens, and when it happens, it's going to be wild. I just want to be a part for the ride,
Yeah. So the way that I think about it, and I'm really not good at these types of things. Whenever you hear me say the way I think about it, go ahead and run.
Yeah.
But the way I think about it is like back in the day when you got these guys that go out into the wilderness of Alaska and they got to hunt and trap, right? So they got a bunch of beaver skins, right? They're out there by themselves. There's not one other person. There's no market there. They can't sell that to anybody, right?
Yeah.
But the second that a train track is run to where he is, and that train track leads back to a city, those beaver pelts automatically have value. Why? It's because there's a path to people who would buy it. Mm-hmm. So I think about it that way in terms of Pulse. So Pulse by itself, just without any pathway back to anything else, is worthless. But the second that you have the opportunity to have like a Uniswap or a Pancake Swap or something that connects the Pulse network back to Ethereum, back to this, back to that, at that point, it starts having value. So you have your ERC20 tokens in your wallet. They're copied over to the Pulse network. So now you have ERC20s and technically worthless Pulse PRC20s. The market's going to find out a way to give these value because there's going to be a link back to a value area. And that's oversimplifying it to the max. There's a whole, we could go into how that works, but essentially on day one, you'll have the same quantity that you're holding in your MetaMask wallet for your Ethereum network. You'll have the same quantity on Pulse. We just don't know how much it's going to cost yet, but you will get copies. And it's going to be the world's largest airdrop. And it's salesy and markety, but it's true. I mean, it really is true. You're going to get copies of everything, and it will have value. It just will. That's how it works. So Pulse Chain, stoked about it. Testnet got launched yesterday. So yeah, let me ask you this, man. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here because you have spent entirely too much time with me tonight, and your girlfriend's pissed right now. Is she behind you right now looking at you crazy? I bet she is.
She's in the bed, man. She's asleep.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna get us off the stream here, man. But is there anything that you want to say to the community? Is there anything that you want to say to our Rags to Riches folks? Just anything at all. The floor is yours.
No, I just want to appreciate all you guys, like just having open arms, it's just like from day one.
Yep.
As soon as I put Hex on Twitter, man, it's just been love ever since. And so, man, it's been love, man. And so I just wanted to say thank you guys. And it's going to be a fun ride, man. Like things are just getting started, man. Things are just getting started. So
how about that? Yeah.
It's going to be exciting.
Love it, dude. Man, a lot of love, man. Thanks for coming on. And I told you this last time, and I'm telling you this again. If there is anything that our community can do for you, I promise that you can at least use my platform to help you out and do whatever you want to accomplish. All right. Because like I said, you're putting your neck on the line in a really big way. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. You really are. You got a whole lot more to lose. All right. So dude, best of luck. Heal up fast. I'll be in touch, man. And the last thing, shout out to his mom and dad because they're great people. They raise a really good young man. And we need more people like you, more leaders in the world like you. Okay.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
All right, buddy. You sleep well, man. Be good. Thank you so much.
Man.
All right. Bye.